Welcome to Second Lap. It's Gramps. I am your host. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I am going to reiterate, which we did last podcast, that we have revisited and reevaluated and wanted to bring you our mission statement. Our mission is to bring you insightful and necessary guests that bring lessons, hacks, and how to optimize our lives for the desired outcome. I've underlined on my page us because, yes, I'm a participant, but at the same time, we do know kind of in a voyeuristically awesome way you are listening to our conversation. And then I underlined outcome because I didn't say, you know, best or, give you some sort of a judgment on it. I wanted you to know that we're hopeful that you take the lessons that we talk about, you take the items that we sort of discuss and use them in a way that you find best, takes you to the place that you want to be as opposed to our our outcome. And then remain curious. That's really the secret, I believe. I also want to hit my mileage, 38,913 miles. It's just continuing to go. The guest that is going to be with us today is a good friend of mine. He was one of just a few that was actually standing at the finish line as I finished my first lap around the world, walking on my feet. And he joins us here on Second Lap. So please bring on the guest, Chris.
I can't hear anything. Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Can you hear me now?
No.
No. Hey, Ronnie, we're having that audio thing again. I wonder. Oh, we did it. We did it the same way. I'm trying to think. Chris, can you? Yeah, try dropping and then come back in. Okay, he went dark. The live production. We haven't had to deal with this in a while, and I'm not moving. That's the funniest thing. Is normally I'm, yeah, normally I'm moving, and so we do have to deal with these situations, and it's usually always their audio. That's the one common thing is them being able to hear us. And now I'm full screen. You guys get to see all my posters. Iron Man, Einstein. Yeah, that's Johnny Cash. And hopefully Chris. Chris is a technology salesperson, so him being able to get back into this application shouldn't take that long. And I should have talked about my stuff while we were talking about it. Give to get and growth. Those are the other things that I had listed as I was going to talk to him about the mission statement. I'm saying the word Hope he comes back in quickly. And this is kind of probably what I had to deal with. Hey, how you doing, Chris? The other Chris. My guest is Chris as well.
Hello.
I can hear Chris. Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's the joy of live television. This is
Yes.
stuff that we didn't have to deal with in the 50s.
Right.
Yeah, never mind. I was trying to be funny. Hey, so you heard I think no, you didn't hear any of my mission statement.
I
that's
couldn't
cool.
hear anything.
Yeah, I know that's funny. All right, so I'm going to say it real quick just so you can hear. Our mission is to bring you insightful and necessary guests that bring lessons, hacks, and how to optimize our life for the desired outcome. I underlined us because I'm participating, but the people that are listening are also, hopefully going to glean something from our conversation. And then I said your desired outcome, which means you're going to hear things that we'll talk about, and you don't have to implement everything or even half of what well, maybe half would be a good number to reach for, but that's just me being funny again. I did say you were one of my best friends, Chris, and that you had been at the finish line for my first lap. And as we are in lap 2, we're now part of this podcast, just talking to people and understanding. So that was part of my intro. You didn't need to hear that as well. I keep coming back to all the things that I talked about when you couldn't hear me. But my intro was that, hey, we've been friends for a long time, and we wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what you're doing these days. We met through software sales, security sales, things of that nature. We both have sort of for years sort of traveled in a similar path, and then recently you're doing something different.
Yeah, yeah. So I was in the corporate world for a number of years. While it provides the security of having that paycheck, there's certainly some downsides of it, and some of those things you don't get to really explore and do when you're responsible for some other roles.
Right.
You kind of have to be focused on that. So some opportunities opened up, some doors closed, some other ones opened, and I've always said I really would like to be able to um, do something on my own
Right.
before I retire, but getting that opportunity, you're actually going after that, sometimes is a pretty difficult decision to make. So this decision was actually made for me, got laid off. And so I getting to kind of do some of the things I wanted to do. And I almost kind of felt like a kid in a candy store for a little while. I felt like start looking at some things. And my background is in IT, right? AI is so huge right now. That's immediately
Right.
where I started looking. It was just a natural. But you realize, God, I've had all these ideas in my head for years. You always say to yourself, maybe I should write that down, and never did. And all of a sudden, they just all start coming out. And so, if I haven't used the term, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I just
You
all
did
these
use the term, but
ideas.
that's okay. You can repeat
Yeah,
the jokes. It's
so I started that.
right.
Started, kind of swimming like a fish upstream, trying to figure out what's going to stick. And yeah,
Sure.
finance has always been something that's really interesting to me. Why I didn't go that path, I don't know, but
Sense of
so kind of
humor.
just
You
going.
have a sense of humor, mostly.
So yeah, so now I'm kind of looking at some things with finance. Just kind of looking in some areas, and I'm real excited about it. So you know it's really just kind of a business consulting type thing. I am working with or focusing on business owners who are projecting in the next 3, 5, 7 years to be selling their business or transition it to someone else.
Sure.
And what do they have to do to get the business that it's appealing for somebody to want to take it over? So that's
Right.
what I'm doing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we talked about it, and I'm going to ask questions to sort of pull out what I think people could get out of us trying to help in the corporate world for a long time. And I took from what you talked before that yes, you're looking at a and call it an exit strategy, or how do you prepare your business for
Yeah.
its next chapter. And we've
Hmm.
talked about America being full of small, closely held businesses, and the children of those people in a lot of
Yeah.
cases not wanting the business or not
Sure.
knowing how to deal with
Yeah.
that. And I think what was the most interesting part that you brought up before, and I'm going to pull you to it, was that you're actually giving them the ability to almost build this business that can survive without them. Like most of these
Right.
small businesses require the quarterback, the figurehead, the insurance guy, whatever the main role is of that business. They require that person's personality and
Hmm.
physicality for the business to survive. That person is on a plane, God forbid the plane goes away, the business sort of doesn't have any legs to stand on. And what I heard you say is, yes, the same tools you would use to make a business sellable also make that business run independent of
Hmm.
that quarterback for the most part. Is that a better way of, I mean, is that what I heard
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
say before?
Sure. Sure. And I would maybe put it a different a different way. It's yeah.
Sure.
It's figuring out how to make the business run more efficiently, right? And so getting back to exactly what you're saying, a buyer is not looking to buy himself a job, right? He's looking to buy himself a business with a good solid cash flow that is run efficiently. And most
Right.
businesses aren't set up that way. You can kind of think of most people haven't gone through selling a business, so I use a comparison of selling a house. Like if you're
Okay.
gonna go, if you're gonna sell your house, you're gonna walk around. You got 2 3 months, figure out what you need to do. You're gonna get it fixed up, and you're gonna get it on the market. And everybody who comes in is gonna look and say, "Oh wow, this looks great." Would have never even known. But you can't do that with a business. You've got financials that the owners are gonna, or I'm sorry, the prospective buyers are gonna want to look at 2 to 3 years back. And so
Sure.
those things are going to show. Plus, the things that you're going to have to likely do will cause a business turmoil if you try to press that all within to a 3 to 6 month time frame. So it's changing the way the business is run, right? And it's you got to get buy-in from the employees because a buyer wants a place that people like to work, right? So it's got
Sure.
to be a nice flow, smooth transition for that.
Are you considering yourself a driver of culture?
Well, driver of culture. I don't know if I would really say that. It's more working with the business owner to identify the areas that for that particular business need to be explored and kind of worked on. Culture,
Okay.
sure, probably in some manners,
Well, I mean,
maybe
if
there's
I was coming in from the employee side, if you're looking
right,
in,
exactly.
as you
Yeah,
said, you want your employees to stick around, you want them
right.
to
Yeah.
be not as invested as you, but as invested as they should be.
Right, right. And so, yeah, I could certainly see, that being a way to describe it. Absolutely. The prospective buyer wants a organization where people have fun. You
Right.
don't have a revolving door that you're having to, replace on average a role every 12 to 18 months.
Sure.
That's not a plus or a positive for a buyer and in that area.
Sure. No, and we talked before, and I'd written down here, you're a mature human. You've been at business. That was a good way of saying it. We're the
Yes,
same
yeah,
age.
yeah.
We're the same age. I love you.
Got the curly hair,
You're,
right?
yeah, yeah. I say this is shiny. It's not gray. It's shiny.
Well, I don't have any of that. I shave every, a couple days, but I got it right here. Shiny. Okay, we'll go shiny.
Yeah, go shiny. It's a
Okay.
better way to describe it. Shininess is wisdom, and
Yes.
so I think I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. This is my show right now, so
Okay.
I'm running it. Lessons. What do you think is just? I'm kind of picking it. Lessons from sales in general. What do you think biggest lesson you've learned from sales that you take into this new role?
Ooh, I've always said, and I don't know if I would have responded this way if you had prompted me with this, but I've always said for me to be successful in sales, I have to believe in what I'm selling. I have to know that my customer, if something's going on, you're never always going to have happy customers, right?
Right.
Maybe something needs to be tweaked, adjusted, and then they're happy. As long as you're selling them something or providing a service or a solution that you believe is a good solution. And if you can do that, then you feel confident in what you're selling. I've never been able to, and I've had some opportunities to, back in my earlier sales things that I didn't either believe in, wasn't a great solution.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I guess I would probably say, I really like to believe in what I'm selling.
I like that. I have people ask me all the time about sales, and I would not have articulated it the same way. But
Okay.
I can, as you were talking about that, I was kind of flashing back and doing the Viewmaster.
Uh-huh.
You all understand that humor. I'm looking through the
Right.
Viewmaster, and I'm like, yeah, because when you believe in it, you bring enthusiasm. You bring, a smile on your face. Yeah, you want to believe in what you're selling. So I like that
Right.
lesson. Do you think if I was to take that down a level and say I was asking a broad question around sales, now I'm going to go down a level and say, hey, you've worked for some of the largest Fortune 100 software companies in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm,
Right.
I'm I mean I'm saying that as respectfully as I can. Like
Yeah.
you've worked for, and I don't can I say both of them, or are they
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
okay? So you've worked for, I'm just teasing.
IBM.
I was gonna make a joke. You worked for
Yeah.
IBM, International Business Machines. You worked for
Right.
Microsoft by Bill Gates.
Right.
You worked for these many thousand employee companies that are bringing,
Hmm.
in Microsoft's world, really software. You're bringing the operating system, the things that drive the business processes and things of
Right.
applications now on top. And then I think Microsoft, or I think IBM is still about that. I mean, I think they were
Hmm.
really driven to sell services, but I think they are also doing product as well.
Right.
What do you think from those behemoths are a lesson that you would bring to this new sort of role?
Oh. Um. Yeah. So that those kind of getting back to what I was saying earlier. I've always liked finance.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't say that. Maybe it was kind of in my mind that I was kind of thinking something. Why I went into IT sales. I don't know. It's kind of the direction I was going. Um, you know, I feel like my ability to communicate, as well as my eagerness and wanting to create a relationship with the people I'm working with, just
Right.
in a I enjoy people, right? And so maybe you can help me remember what the question was.
Well,
um
I was gonna
I
say
think
I wanted to lead I wanted to lead the audio, or the witness. You're in this zone. You were giving me specifically what you learned from working from these two large behemoths. I was gonna ask, is it around being able to understand process? Because I know those kind of
yeah.
companies only run on process. And then the other thing I was gonna ask is, process was the one, and then being able
Well, here,
to, like, call it a 20,000 foot level, like being able to look at a business from back
uh-huh.
here and say, hey, I can see how all these pieces work, and understanding sort of the business itself.
Hmm. Yeah, I do feel my ability to relate with my customer is something I really enjoy. One of my positives, I would say. My background in IT allows me to talk to business owners who are, man, we don't even know what AI is like, or I've got this company, they run our IT for us. If we call them, we have a problem, and you know, I can bring a knowledge and experience with this
Right.
that most financial people can't. Because I've worked with large companies on designing and building out their IT infrastructure to support the business. Well, now
Right.
we're moving, and that's always kind of been the way it is. And IT was almost kind of a necessary cost for a
Right.
business. Well, we're now moving to the IT is now going to be driving that business. And I feel I bring a sizable advantage of knowledge with me in working with these companies to position their organization. Because, again, just like we were talking about earlier, a buyer's not looking to buy a job. He's looking to buy a run independently, well-run business. And having that IT background structure is something that I can bring that really doesn't even, add any cost. It's just another tangible that I bring to the conversations.
Sure. No, I like it. I like, okay, I'm going to change gears. You've been in Texas for your whole life.
My whole
As
life, yeah,
far,
born in
yeah, as
born
far,
born in Fort Worth, and yeah.
I didn't know the Fort Worth part. Man, that makes you
Mm.
even cooler. You're like you're like a real cowboy. Like, I didn't even know that. I thought you were Plano bred and born, but you moved from Fort Worth, Plano. You've been here forever. The reason I was kind of pulling this is you were friends. I want to categorize like you were
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
BFFs, but yeah, you were best friends with Lance Armstrong,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
gave him the idea for Live
Moved into
Strong.
no, no, I didn't
No?
do that.
Okay. Damn it.
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, lived in Plano. He moved a couple streets away from me in mid fourth grade, and yeah, friends all the way through high school. Um, yeah, I can remember when 10th grade, 11th grade, he really started getting into the triathlons and then into the cycling. But yeah, all the way through late elementary, middle school, and high school.
Did
Great
you
guy.
and he did you and he ride the bicycles with your bicycle card in the tire and make it snap? What?
Well, we were a little bit older than that when we started hanging out. Back when he was that age, he was more into cross country bicycling, racing, on the hills
Okay.
and stuff like that. He had a red line. I wasn't into that as much. I had I think it was a Schwinn or had the mag wheels. I wasn't into
Okay.
racing bikes, but yeah, before he was in road racing, he was in cross country racing. I don't know exactly what you call it, dirt bike racing.
BMX, like BMX bikes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh. We also, as I'm kind of going through here, I'm just kind of free basing now. We're both my motorcycle riders.
yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I think you've ridden longer than me. Are you still riding today?
I do have. Yeah, I sold the fur a bike that I had for quite a while, the Honda VFR 750.
Okay.
Sold it, and talking with a buddy at Microsoft, and he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle," and I'm like, "Okay." So started looking online myself, and I found one that I really liked. It's a Ducati Diavel, and
Okay.
this thing is just so sweet. It's scary, I again the I have the silver, so is that what we call it, the shiny?
Shiny.
Um, I make sure I drive very carefully on it. It's
Yeah, I was going to say for we're both fathers
exactly, yeah,
of children, and we want to do the right thing. Do
right,
you do you? I'm trying to think of in the spirit of tips and tricks. Do you try not to ride during certain hours? Do you have like places out in the country where you're away from population? Is there certain
yeah,
things that you do to try and stay safe?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll just uh, usually kind of mornings when everybody's either gone to work or yeah, those type of things, back roads, just kind of getting out. I don't ride a whole lot to, as my main source of transportation, just here and there.
Just here and there. Okay. Are you
Hmm.
getting to where you can brake on the front wheel and the back
No,
wheel? No,
no,
none of that stuff. Good. Good. That's good.
yeah,
Um, yeah, nice. As we were talking in anticipation of this, we talked a little bit about like tips, and then we started talking, and I didn't even bring it up when we were talking about the business. You're doing the business with your son still?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How
So,
is how is that?
it's a lot of fun. It really is. I was, he kind of gives me the motivation that I need without having to ask for it.
Okay.
I get to do some mentoring of him. He doesn't have the corporate or office experience or background, and
Right.
that can be intimidating. Just for kids alone. Yeah, graduated college 2 years ago. Decided he wanted to go do a little bit of exploring around the world. Did some backpacking, and I got laid off, like I said, and then I was saying, um, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this and starting this." He was like, "Hey, I'd love to help you and work with you on it." I said, "Awesome." I really didn't even kind of go that direction, but yeah, it's a lot of
Right.
fun. It really is, and he'll be like, what does BAU stand for? Business as usual, So just little stuff like that. You're like,
Yeah.
you would think is hell completely common sense, but he's never heard it, so it's
Sure.
fun. It's a lot of fun, and helping him. Okay, we've got this vendor we're working with. Okay, you need to go get him, and We've got a call with the customer, tomorrow. We got to make sure we get this set up. So go take care of that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So you're like LeBron and he's brawny?
No,
No.
yeah,
I'm gonna get good ones every once in a while, and that one's
yeah. It
see
was pretty good.
see I get that. If I get a good one, I get a zinger. I mean, I only get those like every third show. So
Gotcha.
just feel
Okay.
yeah, and the people that are on the show they get massive amounts of good luck. So just
Mm,
know that that's coming your way later.
okay. Very nice.
I'm I'm kind of making some of this up
Yeah.
as I go along. Okay. I'm I think I'm slightly envious. I've got some sons and I think it would be kind of interesting. So I'm gonna follow along. I'd like to see. And I would quantify, and I think we talked about this when we were doing some of the videos we were doing a couple weeks back, but I would quantify Tyler as cool hand Luke. Like
Yeah.
he's not, I'm trying to think how to say this in a positive way. He's not
He's
as
laid back.
excitable as you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's laid back. He'll have his hat on backwards and be like, "Cool,
Damn
yeah,
it.
it's cool."
I was gonna do that. I was gonna do that, and I thought, no, that'll make me look too. But
I
I
think
could
it'll
have.
be fine.
You think it'd be okay?
One thing that I always, thought about when I was raising him and his brother Bo is, I don't. I certainly want to have a fun relationship with them, right? You certainly want to have a good relationship
Right,
with your kids, but I always took the approach of I got two jobs to do with these boys. Number one is motivate them to do as best as they can. And number two was I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to be your dad, right? And I'm
right,
going to raise you to be the best that I can be. Hey, let's have a great relationship kind of in between that. But those were kind of the two things that I really used as a overlier. If you had a tree, I would have
right.
those two, and then everything coming down off of that.
Sure. No, and that's great. I mean, you. Hey, Daisy, you definitely. There's a fine line there. There's
Hmm.
definitely a fine line there,
Yeah,
and
it
you're
can be
walking
tough.
that line, and it can be tough. But at the same time, you're there. I'm excited for you. Like I said, you're
Hmm.
there in a time where he does have that opportunity to learn. I made the Bronny LeBron, kind of thing.
Hmm.
I always enjoyed take your kid to work day and
Oh yeah.
sort of letting them get to see I wanted to use like the is it Eddie Murphy, I'm a karate man. I bleed on the inside.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I wanted them to see that we're humans. Like, yes, as you said, we're their dad and we've got this sort of piece over here, but we're also human and being able to experience that with them is rewarding. So I'm excited
Yeah.
for you, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to follow along. And it was cool to watch him backpacking in Europe and stuff. I did have some
Uh-huh. Yeah.
little bit of envy because I feel like we have as a society not done that enough. Like
Right.
hey, go to school, get a job for 40 years. Now you got a bunch of money and you need a cane in order to walk, as opposed
Right.
to
Yeah.
go off and do some of these things. So it's exciting that he did do that and did do. I didn't say do. I said did do. I have all these filters that I have to watch because Ronnie's watching. He's watching very closely right now.
Well, when he initially said he wanted to do that, I was like, you better have a pretty good story when you start to go looking for a job because it's to me it's going to sound like, hey, I didn't want to start work yet. I wasn't ready to start work
Right.
yet, right? And so that was the kind of perception I had. But as I talked to more friends and other people, coworkers, they were like, man, that's a great idea, right? Because when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, you can't just stop and take 2 years off. So if you're going to do something, that's the best time to do it. And I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here now saying, I'm starting to map out some of the hikes I want to do when I get to, yeah, but I got to wait till I'm 60. I can't go off and take 2 years or, even kind of 6 months. So I had a little bit of a change of mental approach on that. But yeah, I think you did a
Are
great thing.
you are you doing anything with that, call it, with that reality change in your mind, or being brought to that realization? I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Do you do you or have you mapped out and started to maybe do some more exploring? I mean, I know you're building a business, but I mean, you can take a 3-day weekend and go visit, some place that you haven't been to before. Are you starting to look at those kind of things in order to do some exploring?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Living here in Texas, Dallas, there's not a well, there is. We don't have the big cities, like they have up in the Northeast, but we've got plenty of hiking trails and stuff. Yeah, I would love to kind of start doing stuff like that. Yeah, take a Friday off, head out Thursday night, and kind of do something like that. Yeah, that stuff. Love being outdoors. I got a dog that she could just go and go all day long. Sometimes I have to put the restraints on her because she would just run and run until she probably died.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're saving her life. That's
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Okay. I was like, where is he going with this? Okay, he's preventing harm. That's good. That's
yeah.
good. Um, Also, this is our Jordan year. I don't know if you've put that together. We've been friends for 23 years, so this is our Jordan year. I
Oh,
don't know if we
okay.
should have shirts
Okay.
made, but I just wanted you to be aware of it. Like,
Yeah.
this is about the
Yeah.
time that this is
Okay.
about time of like our anniversary that we went to work. We were working for, of all places, Elron Software.
Elron Software, exactly.
Man,
Yeah.
man, it's not Enron. A lot of people can hear that as
No,
Enron,
not
and I don't
Enron
even know a
or.
lot. Yeah, yeah, Elron Software. But yeah, it's our Jordan year, so I wanted to make sure that
uh,
people were aware. And you can send gifts. Like, we will. Did your light just change?
yeah, there's a timer, I guess, on here. I guess I haven't moved, so my
I
my
was,
light just
I was
flicked
like,
off in the room.
yeah, I was like, what's going on? Like, I made a joke, and all of a sudden, God like flashed you with lightning or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what? Okay, all right, we're good. Okay, I told you earlier I'd ask this question. You've had an hour to prep.
I don't remember what it
What?
was.
See, this is the best. What did you think I was going to ask you about? What kind of questions, in anticipation? What I I find it's crazy that people get really nervous about having this conversation with me. I
Uh-huh.
just I've done it so much that I don't understand it really anymore. But people
Yeah.
get nervous, and so I'm just curious. Was there anything that you were nervous that I was going to ask you about?
Um, I think pretty good on my feet. I think I
Kind of.
I so I guess it was the whole. I haven't even really done any podcasts, so um
Okay.
I can remember the first time, I started using cameras, my eyes would just water like crazy, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I keep I keep doing this. I feel like there's, my nose is scratching. So no, it's not anything I was really worried about. You is it just coming across as
Sure.
you know,
You're not doing the
pers-
Ricky Bobby thing, like you don't know what to do with your hands. I mean, you're good with your hands, right?
yeah, yeah, I think so.
You look like you've been working out. Your muscles, you got some good guns going, so you're looking good. I mean, other than the light going off.
Yeah,
See, other than the light going off.
right.
Okay, so you weren't
I wasn't
worried.
too
You can
worried
think
about
on your
anything. No.
feet. Okay,
Mm-mm.
I'm
No,
trying to
I
think
think
if there's
it's
any last minute. What are you drinking? Tea.
water.
Water.
I don't like tea or coffee either.
How did we become friends so long ago? If you just don't, I mean, I love coffee.
Yeah.
The tea, I was a black tea drinker for long enough to get to where I was drinking 3 bottles a day. And I can't even remember how many grams of milligrams, grams it was. I think it was milligrams. I mean, I don't think I had
Hmm.
any grams, but milligrams of caffeine that I was having.
Yeah.
And when I would watch TV at night with my bride sitting next to me, my leg would just sit there like this. And so I had to cut the caffeine out. Like,
Yeah.
caffeine. So I do coffee in the morning, and I don't have caffeine afternoon because it has a 8-hour half life, and I want to fall asleep at 9 o'clock.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. These are tips. See, that's a tip. I'm giving some good
Okay.
tips.
If I start drinking tea, I will make sure to
Stop at
get.
noon.
Yeah, stop at noon. Right. Okay.
Yeah. The only time I break that habit is when I go out and I have tea like Papa Do's, to use one of our places in our local area where I'll go and have
Oh
dinner.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
their tea is usually so watered down that
Uh,
it doesn't have that jug of
gotcha.
caffeination that the black, I'm trying to think of the name of the brand. I mean, it was literally like I was a fiend and I had to get
Yeah.
off it. So I understand that. But I have a blended coffee in the morning, and then I have that in the morning, and then I just stay off caffeine for the rest of the day. And then I sleep well.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, we're winding down. I'm trying to think, if as we bring this thing in for landing, I'm trying to think of the question that's going to be like, why did you not ask him? Like, you wanted to
Right.
ask him this question.
Yeah.
You're not wearing your members only jacket, so I thought that was sort of like just an
I don't
oversight.
have a members only jacket.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. See, that there's another good zinger. I was trying to get back out because the last one I got the banner that said that I had a terrible joke, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to bring us I'm
Are
trying
you
to bring
talking
us
about
back
those
out.
ones that had the little snap that came over, and then it had on the pocket had little members only white label there?
Why are you acting like there's not one in your closet?
I remember back from eighth grade. No, I
I
don't have a
use
members
that.
only jacket.
It's a joke on a movie, and I can't give credit to the
Oh,
right
okay.
movie. I
Yes,
can't
I
give
do
credit.
love how you're able to quote movies and drop those in at any time.
I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool with friends and being able to do that. But the movie line was, and I think it's Shallow Hal,
Gotcha.
and it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yep,
And if
yep.
you
I know Shallow
understand
Hal.
that movie, you remember that movie in Jack
Yeah,
Black, and they're doing it. And I think it's the guy from Seinfeld who I'm forgetting his name.
Costanza or Kramer,
Kramer. No, not Kramer, not Costanza.
Michael
Uh,
Richards,
no, the other one.
Newman,
No, his main guy, Jerry,
Jerry
and
Seinfeld.
this is not gonna be edited out. This is going to be in the podcast. Um, he's the bald one.
George Costanza.
Yeah, George.
Well, that's
George
what I
is in
said,
the movie.
Costanza or Kramer.
Okay, I didn't hear the Costanza part. I missed that. I heard
Okay,
the Kramer. I heard the
okay.
Kramer.
George
Okay,
Costanza.
back
Yeah.
to that. Okay, pretend like we missed all that part.
Okay.
Okay, in that movie, Shallow Hal, you understand, right? You understand the concept, and he's standing there, and she's making the joke to him. She's like, "What are you wearing, your members only jacket? Are you like the last member?"
Right.
Okay, all right. I didn't make that joke up. I don't get credit for the zinger, but it's funny, and so that's why when I'm telling jokes with people, I will bring up, "Hey, he's got a members only jacket," because that's the zinger I'm thinking of if they actually
Mm-hmm.
grab onto. So
Gotcha.
I appreciate you being here. It's, one of these things is usually like your first conversation. You're now a character as part of Second Lap. I hope you'll come back. Any last parting thoughts that you would like to bestow upon Ronnie or anybody else?
No, I think life is awesome, and I feel like I got a whole new perspective on life within the past 12 months or so, and it's really really nice.
Is there any way for people to learn that kind of a perspective, or is that something that just takes a life change for
Yeah, I
that
think
to happen?
it took for me it was releasing a lot of stress. Yeah.
That's good.
Hmm.
Do you do any in that spirit? Do you do any like jujitsu or karate or anything physical?
No, no, it's just uh how my life over the past couple of years has just changed.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Hmm.
good. I'm glad that you've let some shit go and you're in a good place. Wish you a ton of success in the business. I'm a little jelly.
Yeah, thanks.
You'll be working with Bronny. I'm gonna call him
Yeah,
Bronny just
exactly.
because you'll know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
I hope you'll come back. Like, it's been good
absolutely.
talking to you on camera.
Would love to.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
You too. Thanks.
We wave now, and now after COVID, we wave when we say goodbye. See ya. Be
Okay.
safe.
Bye.
Bye.